The happiest moments of my life is when I'm sharing quality time with my family. You need to really, really cherish the happiness moments that come in your life.
How are you, Natyash?
Ooh, very excited to be here. Like, you're one of the prettiest hosts I've ever seen in my entire life.
Thank
I'm
you.
nervous.
Ay, I love it.
Dios mío.
Dios mío, vamos a coger muy caliente aquí.
De una, ya se prendió esto, marica.
I'm so here for this. Thank you
gosh.
for being here. It is such an honor to have this conversation with you and get to know a little bit more about you. I feel like you have this like mystery essence that we're gonna like unlock. Yeah, she's like, nena buena, pero a pocas veces no.
I'm a snake with a lot of personalities that come out depending on situations.
I love it. I love it.
But no, thank you for having me here. I mean, it was a far drive, but I'm glad to be
but we're
here.
happy you made it to our beautiful oasis.
Look, I'm on vacation now.
Yes. Get in that vacation mode. You're on vacation.
Awesome.
And we are going to be discussing The Happiness Trap by Russ Harris. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're a recording artist, been making music now for about 2 years. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, so I was born in Colombia, Colombiana, although I look Asian. Everybody thinks I'm from Asia. I moved to Italy when I was 8 years old. So I grew up in Italy. And then I moved to the US about 9 years ago because the destiny put, you know, a man in my life and I moved here for love. Now I'm in Miami by myself, living my dream of following, you know, my career and fully focusing on it. I've been making music for 2 years. And before that, I was working more as an influencer, like creative director of campaigns. And before that, as a model, like I've always been in the entertaining world, but like I always wanted to be an artist. And because I moved so much and changed my life so many times, I couldn't really start before. So
got you. So now you feel settled and you feel ready that music is your avenue right now.
absolutely. And in Miami, I love it. You know, I love how many cultures come together.
Yes.
You know, like Cubans, Venezuelans, Colombians,
De
Ecuador.
todo.
I'm like, oh my God, this is like heaven. It's amazing.
Yeah, we're a
you know?
melting pot down here. And as the years go on, it's getting progressively like all these different cultures are coming
Because
down.
I lived in Vegas before I was living in Miami. And let me tell you, I am not going back there. Hell no.
How long were you in Vegas for?
Dude, I lived there for 8 years. Can you believe that? I'm confused. I didn't become a fucking cactus. You know, in Miami, it's like the breeze, the people, the music, the culture. Oh my God, la playa, la rumba. And I gotta be honest, I've been really blessed because everybody has opened the doors to me here. Promoters, DJs, clubs, producers, studios. So my music is doing better than ever. And I felt so, so blessed.
Wow, congrats. You deserve that.
Thank you, baby.
I love that.
You gotta be in my videos. You're too hot.
Vamos.
Jesus Christ.
I'll dance with you, girl. I love it. So what made you choose this book as a book that's inspired you?
Okay, so I chose this book because before reading it, I've always, like, the title really, really attracted me. I gotta be honest, I Googled, what are the easiest books to read? The first was The Happiness Trap. So the title really intrigued me because it just goes with what I've always believed recently. For so many years, I was convinced I was in the happiness trap. So while I'm reading the book, I realized that I got out of that happiness trap by myself before reading it. But I wish I would have found the book before. It would have been a little easier, you know? So it's so true how we're all trapped into this society thought where we have to be happy and force ourselves to be happy. And if you're not happy all the time, then there's something wrong with you. You know, and families, generations, everybody, just media stuck it in our heads, you know, even like the Cinderella, all these Disney movies, all the movies, like you have to end up with this happy ending. And life is not like that. You know, I'm fully convinced, and the book is too, that that happiness is made of moments. You know, right now I'm super happy to be here with you, but then I'm gonna be miserable in the car with my agent. You know, it's just life. So it's all a matter of enjoying the happy moments that life gives us. Cherish all the moments that, for me, the most happy moments, the happiest moments of my life is when I'm sharing quality time with my family. So when I'm there, like enjoy them so much, because as an immigrant, as you probably know, you get home in Miami and other things make you happy, but you're not fully happy because you don't have your loved ones next to you. You can't touch them. You can't like share time with them. So you need to kind of learn how to really, really cherish the happiness moments that come in your life.
Yeah.
I should write my own book.
Beautiful. That was bars. Drop bars. I'm like, okay, podcast done. Bars. I love it. I love it. And how have you been able to find that balance? Like, you're definitely in an industry that it's filled with high of highs and lows of lows, right? How have you been able to maintain like a happy medium in between to navigate?
I think it's really difficult whether we're in the environment of the entertainment and like the music, because there's a lot of highs and lows, but in life generally, we have highs and lows. Everyone has them, right? And I think the way I can surf the wave now, it's the many years of experience. The hitting the real lows when I was super young, and then hitting more lows when I got older. And then finally, I'm like, okay, now I know how to handle this because I know myself. And when I was in my early 20s, I actually got married really young, and I was a freaking roller coaster. And you don't really are not aware of your feelings, your emotions, your actions. You don't really know yourself. Like us women, when we're like in our late 20s, we start to like finally understand ourselves. So basically, yeah, it's you just gotta like allow the negative feelings, like the book says, to just be. You know, like you can't just let the anxiety, try to kick it out, try to kick out all these negative feelings. They will come back. And this it's not in the book, but I read it somewhere else. And I remember it hit me so hard because it said, when you are not in the mood to smile or laugh and you have to fake a smile to somebody, it's gonna affect you double, and it's gonna make you even more gross. Like it's gonna bring that nasty feeling that you were having before even harder. So my motto in life now is, I do whatever I want. I do what makes me feel good. And if I don't want to do not something, I won't do it. If I don't feel like smiling, I'm not going to do it. Because fake it is just going to grow those negative feelings inside of us.
Yeah.
That's my motto.
Wow. That's an interesting perspective. I've heard the opposite, which is why I love this show, because you can share different mindsets.
Yeah.
But I've heard if you're ever in a place where you feel down, you can just smile, and instantly through a smile change the genetic chemicals of your body. So you're tricking your mind to think you're happy even if you're not.
Points of view.
So points of view, that's what I'm saying. I love it.
Is what people think.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Beep. But do whatever you want. You know, you don't feel like going to the club, don't do it. Yeah. You don't feel like being in an environment. As an artist, sometimes I have to go to events. I have to do things that don't make me feel comfortable. Yeah. And if I don't feel like doing it, you know, for so many years I did things I didn't want to do, and I realized that life is just one, and you just gotta do whatever makes you feel good, whatever you feel, and follow your gut when it comes to like, you know, professional things. If you really feel like you should do it or not, just go for it.
Yeah.
You know?
And how have you been able to find yourself as an artist?
It's been a long road. You know, I'm gonna be dead honest with you, because I can't
straight
lie.
up.
That's
Talk
my
straight up.
defect. So I started my career a little late in life because many things happened to me. I moved to a different country. My father got murdered, and then my mom moved me to Italy, and then I moved to Rome by myself, trying to follow my dream. And then I got married and started a life as a housewife, very young. I got married when I was 21. So I always took these roles that never allowed me to really be myself. So for many years, I was having a great life, but I was like dying inside. Because when you want to be an artist, when you really want to have an audience to entertain, it could be making them laugh, making them cry, like educate them, like just have an audience. If you don't do that, if you don't follow your dream, you start like dying inside. You know, and I was feeling like miserable. So I was still married, and I decided to just go for it. One morning I woke up feeling really anxious. I was like, holy shit. If in 10 years I wake up and I felt like I never really tried what I always wanted to do, how am I gonna feel? And then I got like, you know, when you get those nasty, like anxious feelings, I was like, oh my God, I feel like that now. I gotta do something. So I flew to Medellin, and I took all the songs that I had written, and I just recorded them for fun. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to start an artist career yet, but I'm just going to record my songs. And everything just started flowing. I started getting a manager and a team and people believing in me, people loving the project. And then I started getting shows in Miami, in Vegas. Like everything went so fast. And I was like, I was almost not looking for it. It was like my calling. It's almost like it was meant to happen. Finally, it's like my moment. So we started the music career and I released different music, different like styles. I tried different tones because for so many years, I put my dream in a closet, which is really sad, you know? And I think a lot of people can relate to that. And so I felt like I was wasting so much time. And when I started, I really didn't know what I was doing, you know? So I can tell you that now, after 2 years releasing a lot of music and all my videos, like they come from my head. Everything that you see created, it's like, it's me. It's Natyash.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But what's coming, Jenny? What's coming is from a different world. It's either you guys gonna love it or you're gonna cancel me. Because it's explicit, it's sassy, sexy, rebel, controversial. Because now I'm a divorced woman and I can finally express myself and say what people think. And if you like me, great. If you don't, you know how many people I have told in my page, if you don't like what I'm doing, then get the out of my page because nobody's forcing you to be here, you know? Yeah. So a lot of things are coming and I hope you check it out.
Wow, I will. I'll definitely check it out, girl. You got a fan here.
Thank you.
How did you find that courage to just like step into this version of yourself that you found yourself in right now?
It wasn't easy because when I released music, when I started 2 years ago, I was very like immature with the music. So I was letting a lot of people getting into my ear. I was following the socials. I was following my manager telling me, we have to protect your image. I was thinking, you're married. You can't do that. You can't do this. So now I'm finally able. It's so, like, I feel so free. Like it gives me real happiness moments. Everything started with a video I did on Instagram where I'm walking in the desert and I just start taking my top off and I throw it. And you can tell I'm like fucking topless. I'm like hoping for a truck car to pass by and honk me, but it didn't. And it's not a sexy move. Like people think that being free, that being a rock star means sexual. It's not. It's so liberating. It's like being able to do whatever you want. And my next song that is coming out in a few days, I'm sure by now will be out and a hit.
So put it out there, mommy.
So Rockstar, for me, being a rock star, I just want to ignite everybody's rock star side. And it's not just the female that has it. Men do too. The rock star side is not just being slutty. It's not just being like sexy. It's doing whatever the hell you want. And I can promise you when you do that, when you really do that, you're happy as Sorry, I cuss so much.
No, you're good. That's passion. Release the passion. That's what you believe in.
So being a rock star, today I wrote on my Instagram, I asked people, what is the most rock star thing you've ever done? And I got so proud of this woman because I have followers. People follow me for years. When I was married, when I was an influencer, like they've been following every step of my career. Yeah. And it's so heartwarming hearing, like seeing texts of people, I've been following you for 10 years, Nati. I love you. That is amazing. Like it's incredible, you know? But people think that Rockstar, oh yeah, I snorted cocaine. Oh yeah, I f***ed 2 chicks. Oh yeah, I walk naked in the pool. Yeah. This woman told me, the most rockstar thing I've ever done is getting a degree as a divorced mom and having my kids now studying this. And I was like, this is so fucking rockstar, girl. That is so awesome. So you know what I mean? Rockstar is being able to do whatever you really want to do. But for some reason, you're like inhibited. You're scared. Maybe you can't. Maybe you have somebody around you influencing you not to do it.
Right.
You know?
Do you think that sometimes doing whatever you want to do can have consequences?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not everybody's going to like you. Sometimes not even your family can agree with it. Sometimes the media, like the society, but we have to embrace who we really are. If you're crazy, then you're crazy.
You're crazy.
There's no right or wrong in life. I mean, of course, there are rules and everything, but life is just one, you know, and I followed the rules for so long and I had it all and I was so miserable. You know, I thought that I have to follow the standards of being the good wife and putting my dreams aside. And that is the happiness trap. Trying to portray online or to the people that you love. There's a lot of people that portray to their families the perfect life and they're miserable. People that maybe, you know, I have a friend who loves women and she just will not tell her parents. So she's like so frustrated. Like, you just gotta do whatever makes you happy, because happiness is made of moments. And if we don't enjoy those, what the are we doing in this world?
For sure.
Know?
For sure. And something I want to add to that is the fulfillment component, because what you've been discussing is like, I can energetically feel this like liberation pouring out of you of possibly being trapped for so long, thinking you had to do things a certain way, to now feeling liberated. What does fulfillment mean to you?
Fulfillment. I mean, besides having a crazy life and doing whatever you want, what truly is fulfillment for me, which is a double cut, but it's like the basic, the happiness of the loved ones. You know, that was for many years. I was pursuing. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be happy because I had this perfect life. I love this man. I love everything, but I'm not fulfilling my dream. So my goal was just making sure that the people I love, my family, was happy. And then I got hit in the wall, like bam, because I realized that you cannot make anybody's happy. You can only work on your own. No money, nothing can make somebody else happy, because we're all dealing with our demons.
Yeah.
You know? So then I realized that, okay, I can try to make them happy, but what really will fulfill me was following my dream. I may not become the biggest singer in the world, but at least I tried. And that for me is fulfilling as I leave this podcast telling you, you know, if I die tomorrow, I'm doing everything that I want to do. Wow. And I'm ready to leave this world, which I couldn't say that 2 years ago. You know?
Wow, that's so liberating. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's a lot of work.
Gracias. Yeah. I need water.
Go ahead. Toma.
Let's go spicy. This is too deep. I thought we were going to have like spicy
Okay,
shit here.
Before we get to spicy, one more question. What was the moment in your life that you just unlocked that for you? That you just like unlocked the door and you stepped out and you're like, this is me. I'm going all in.
Okay. So it wasn't when I started my music career, and it wasn't when my divorce happened, and it wasn't when I moved to Miami. I'm telling you all this because these were really critical moments where I had massive changes. The moment where I liberated this crazy rockstar side in me and this desire to push people to do the same happened about a month ago, when I met one person who looked at me in the eyes. He was like going to join me in my project, in my music project, right? And I told him my story, and I told him what I want to do, and he saw all this excitement, and I needed a little bit of direction, because I'm like this. You see me, I'm like a fucking snake, you know? And he looked at me and he goes, "You are a real fucking rock star." So this person, these words from somebody that is so knowledgeable in the industry for over 20 years, like it's almost like he ignited something in me.
Wow.
He said something that triggered the rockstar in me, and I gotta thank him. I'm not gonna say the name, but I'm sure he knows who I'm talking about. Wow. And sometimes you just need somebody to tell you things. I hope somebody listens to this podcast and finally wake the up and follow his dream.
Following dreams,
you know.
Amen. Yeah.
It could be a cooking class.
Yeah.
It could be having a family. It could be divorcing somebody that is being toxic. You know what I mean? Like, just do whatever your gut tells you to do.
So since you want to get spicy, give it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Tell us a wild story that you've experienced.
A wild story that I experienced? Yeah. That's too generic. Dude.
That's too generic. Okay, que tú quieres?
You know when you have too many thoughts in your head?
Oh, so because you have too many wild stories. That's what problema.
So you're like, which one should I pick? No, not that. Not that. Oh, God. The day I recorded Rockstar, which if you are very moralistic, then you should not watch Rockstar. But if you're spicy and split and you like kiki, then you should go and watch Rockstar. But I'm going to tell you something crazy that happened to me that day. That was the craziest, most Rockstar day I've ever done in my life. Because on that day, I kissed a stranger. I also rubbed myself to him. I mean, it was acting. It was acting. I was like on top of him. I actually lick all his belly. I kissed a woman. I did the same. I rubbed all her body. She actually was really heated. She actually was really horny. Like I could tell from the way she was breathing. I'm like, girl, chill. So I kissed the boy. I kissed the girl. And I liked it.
Shout out Katy Perry.
And the video, I always want to make sure that I don't really care if people believe it, but it's acting, you know? Like I wanted to show all the behaviors that a rock star has. The song is called Rockstar. And I was like, I just want this woman to be a fucking rock star doing everything so explicit. So she snorts cocaine. I snort cocaine in the video, but it's not real cocaine. It's maicena. So I can say I snort maicena that day. It went all the way up my nose and it burned the shit out of my head. So I smoke joints, I smoke cigarettes, I drink. It was the most rockstar day I've ever had in my life.
What does rockstar mean to you?
Rockstar to me means the most like liberating yourself, showing, like I told you, the most inhibited side of you that for some reason society, friends, family, whatever think is wrong, but it's your essence, you know? It's your essence and you have to let it be, because when you free your rockstar side, you get more happiness moments in your life.
And how was your experience coming from Colombia to Italy to the US?
You know, I feel really lucky because it opened my mind. It opened the opportunity of like learning, accepting cultures, and I just feel extremely lucky. But it wasn't easy, girl. I mean, you know it. When you move to a different country, it's almost like your soul gets broken and nothing can really fulfill it until you go back home. You know, I can't imagine all the people that live in the US that I met in Miami that they just can't go back and visit their families. Like it breaks my heart because my motor, my engine is my family, my loved ones. And I've been by myself since I'm 18. And it's not easy. Like it fucks with your head a lot, you know? Yeah. So when I moved to Italy from Colombia, it was devastating. I was a teenager and I became just a rebel and I refugeed in music. And damn, back then I did all the drugs you could imagine. I got drunk. I ended at the hospital. Like I was a freaking train wreck, you know? Poor mom. Hi, mom. So when I was 18, I told her, I told her all my teenage time, one day I'm going to leave and I'm going to make it. And when I was 18, I had 100 euros, just one bill. And I moved to Rome. And I told her, I want to go. I want to go and I want to become an artist. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to just be in the entertaining world, like always. And I left. She was crying and I never came back. Since then, I've never come back. I mean, I love her. We talk and everything, but I never went back to my hometown. Like I just started to do it on my own, working clubs, meeting people, studying psychology, trying to do like acting. Like I love my life in Rome. I lived in Rome 3 years by myself, from 18 till 21. And I was just trying to figure out life. And you know what? I was enjoying it. I wasn't like in the happiness trap yet, when you were like just trying to portray happiness and chase happiness, because what the book says, the more you try to chase happiness, the more frustrated you get.
And the more sadness you attract.
Exactly. I was just enjoying life. Everything that would come to me was extra, was a given, and I was enjoying it. And that's where my ex-husband came into my life. And then I moved to Vegas. I went to Vegas to visit an old friend, Grace X, back then. English was broken, so it was just sex. So when I moved there, a month later, this crazy man asked me to marry him. And I was crazier because I said yes. I was 21 years old. My English was broken. I mean, good sex, okay. And that was it. And we were married for many years. And it was great at first, but I gotta tell you, girl, I moved to Italy and I had to reset up all I've ever known. Because the culture, Colombia, Italy, oh my God, everything is different. From the music, the culture, the way they celebrate Christmas is so boring comparing to Colombia.
Yeah,
oh my God,
no, claro,
you know?
claro.
And then I moved to Vegas, not to New York, not to Los Angeles or Miami. I moved to in Vegas, the desert, Sin City. And I was like, wow. So I had to reset my life again. It's like every 10 years I reset my life. So I moved to the US, and the food is different. The culture is different. I will never forget. I was like in Italy in the fashion. Like I was really like, very pretty, like very obsessed with fashion. And in Italy, people love to dress for special occasions. So I got invited to my very first ball party, like the big ball, big ball, how's it called?
Super Bowl?
Super Bowl,
okay.
The big ball.
I'm like, big ball. I'm like, wait, what? I mean, super big, I guess.
So the big Super Bowl party of some friend, right? And I remember putting my Jimmy Choo shoes and doing my hair and looking so pretty because I wanted to impress all my ex-husband's friends, right? I walk in there and everybody's in flip-flops. Everybody's like their belly showing. And I was like, oh my God, like I was actually, I felt like a fish out of water for so many years in this country,
wow.
And I try to fit in. I try to fit in into the wife role. That's why I speak so good English, because for many years I was just speaking English. In Vegas, not everybody speaks Spanish. And then I moved to Miami and they're like, Spanish, please. I don't understand. I'm like, oh, Dios mío, dame un pequeño, mamita.
Y una croqueta también.
Yeah. So it was really, really traumatic moving to Vegas. For many, I moved for love. I gave up everything I had. My culture, my family, my mom, my studies of psychology, my job as an actress. I was starting finally. And I moved to the US to just stay the wife role. And I loved it. And I would do it. I mean, I don't know if I would do it again, but
but it was part of your story.
But I don't regret it. I don't know if I do it again, but I don't regret it. I think everything in life happens for a reason. Life is made of choices. We made those choices, and it was great. We had a great marriage for many years, and then, as you know, we just grew apart. But moving to a different country, it's. Yo siempre lo digo. I always say it. Nobody knows how hard it is to leave your family and become an immigrant until you actually live it. Like I told you, it's like a piece of your soul. It's never gonna be there. And I'm going to be damn honest, because at this point, I've been the whole thing, right? When I moved to Italy, I lost myself. Like you lose your identity. It's like, okay, I don't belong there because I left. I don't belong here because I'm not from here. Where do I belong? And that, as a teenager with not too many friends and family around, like you try to like process it on your own. And that's why I refugee in music. And then I also like find comfort into like drugs and party and alcohol. And, and I had a crazy teenage time, but then luckily I snapped out of it. And I realized that us immigrants are citizens of the world. You don't need to belong somewhere. We belong to the fucking world, and when I started to actually seeing the fact that I left my country and I have the luck to move and know other cultures and live in other places, I started feeling lucky and not so miserable.
Yeah, the world is wherever you are. Is there a part in the book that you took away and you're just like, this one section really changed my perspective?
If you try to suppress negative feelings, they will come back at you harder and in the most less expected moment. That hit me hard. That's something that I already knew, but it really I was like, okay, you can't do that. And it also tells you to give some space to let those feelings be. And for many years, I was just trying to numb it. And that's what people do. We try to cope with our problems. We want to numb those negative feelings because it's bad. Oh my God, to be sad is so bad, like people think. And God, I'm one of those. I cry once a year, and it's kind of like to release stress, and I feel much better. Like for some reason, I built up this barrier when I'm like, okay, I'm by myself in this world. I gotta be tough. I gotta be strong. I gotta protect myself. And cry is for the weak,
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, you could never make me cry unless you punch me or get me hurt. Then I'll probably start crying like a baby.
Wow.
But so I am one of those people that will just suppress anything negative, and I will always try to look really tough in front of my family, in front of everyone, because I don't want to get nobody like worried about me. I don't want nobody like to feel compassion for me or sad for me. So I would like somatize all these negative feelings, but behind closed doors, they would haunt me. Like I would wake up in the middle of the night with all these anxious feelings, like horrible. Like, oh my God, what if something happened to my family? Oh my God, what if I don't make it in the music? Oh my God, what if like there's an earthquake in my house? Like the craziest thoughts. So what hit me of the book is like, you just gotta let these feelings be, because the mind is not set to be happy. You know, the mind, like that's what the book says. So I'm okay.
Happiness is not a normal state.
Exactly. It's, oh, you read it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, what was the part that you like the most?
The part about the roller coaster, when they were like, they're like, when you ride a roller coaster, there's so many highs and lows, and life is equivalent to that. Yeah. You know? Yeah. This thought that you chase happiness, and happiness is the end goal. Happiness is an emotion, just as other emotions are, right? But we get to choose which emotion we entertain. So yes, we have thousands of thoughts a day, but what thought are we entertaining? It's not to tell it, don't think that, don't think that. No, I think you, I think you, I see you, now bye. But now I'm gonna entertain that I'm on a podcast and we're having this girl talk and we're having so much fun, right? Versus being like, oh, well, this is happening at home and this and this and this, and I'm worried about this. Like, there's so many things happening, but it's what thoughts we choose to entertain. And that's why I find it so refreshing that you chose this book, because I'm sure people are watching this like, wait, you chose this? That's not the version of her we know. And I like being able to showcase the real side of people. Like, let's laugh, let's have fun, but let's have some serious talk. And like, let's talk about real shit about losing yourself. I've lost myself too. I mean, like, lost myself in a point where I was like isolated for like 6-8 months. Like I was in my darkness, you know, but I found my light through my darkness, you know? And it's that, like, I think as women, sometimes we try to portray this whole, like, we have to have it all figured out, but no, we don't freaking have it figured out. And that's okay too. That's when you're like, I cry once a week. I'm like, I cry like all the time. But
once a year.
I mean, once a year, sorry. I'm the one that's once a week. You're the one that's once a year.
You're like about to cry. You're gonna make me cry.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I gotta force myself to cry too.
No. It's okay to feel all of our emotions.
It's okay, no, and I love it. You know, it's, being a rock star, it's also allowing your emotions to be.
Yes.
It's just allowing your essence to be.
Yes. And that's so allowing yourself to release all those experiences and not feel like, well, I have to, like, that's not relatable. Like, nobody has it figured out. No matter who you are, no matter how much money you make, we're all figuring it out together. And it's just finding a way that allows you to live a more fulfilled, meaningful, happy life when you can, right? But not that it's perfect or I don't feel any emotions.
And it's not easy. Nobody said it's easy. It's not easy to get out of the happiness trap. But the happiness trap is actually a really miserable life. Yeah. Because no matter how much you actually achieve, you're never going to be happy.
You're always going to disappoint yourself because you're chasing something that doesn't have an end goal. Like, there's no end goal to the amount of happiness you can have. You don't reach a point where I'm the happiest. That's it. I don't want to be happier than this. That's non-existent.
You know what? And you know what life has taught me? Like, what is the most important thing in life that you could never get or buy again? Time. So we spend all this time trying to chase this freaking happiness that everybody wants and nobody really sees. And then you forget to live your present. And then you forget to get the nice moments that actually fulfill you and give you that dopamine right now. Like, this interview is making me extremely happy, you know? But if you're trapped in your head of all the things that you have to do, all the things that, then you don't really enjoy the present. And the present is never going to come back.
Because the present is the gift. That's why it's present. It's the present. It's in the word.
We should write a book. The present is our gift.
That's our next book. We got a book and a song coming. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. The book and a song coming.
But you write it because I'm bad at that.
I love it.
No more questions?
No, our time is up.
Okay. Damn it.
I know.
Don't cry.
I'm not going to cry.
It looks like you're going to cry. Give me your hand.
I'm
gonna be okay. She's so
I'm not crying. Well, thank you so much for being here. You have been a gem. Where can people find you?
Okay, you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and all the platforms of music as Natyash. I can tell I do this a lot.
Yeah, so taken done. You got it. And there you have it, an amazing episode with Natyash. If you want to check out the book, The Happiness Trap by Russ Harris, make sure to click the link in the description below. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let us know your favorite part. Was it her singing? Was it her funniness? Was it our intense conversations? Let us know what you think. And as always, turn the page and we'll see you in the next one. Shout out to our sponsor, Local Cold Brew Coffee.